Okay, sixth grade, lesson 7.1, there are three main tasks that we're going to be working on. Number one, we're going to complete an equivalent ratio table by setting up a proportion and then cross-multiplying and dividing for the unknown number in the proportion. Number two, we'll write equivalent ratios as ordered pairs, so that number three, we can graph those ordered pairs on the coordinate plane and connect those pairs with a line. So here I have a table of sulfur atoms to oxygen atoms. It's a ratio of sulfur to oxygen. Here I have 6 sulfurs for 12 oxygens. We're going to work off of that ratio to find equivalent ratios to complete the table. So first I can write this ratio as a fraction, 6 to 12, 6 over 12. Sulfurs on top, 6 sulfurs to 12 oxygens. I can set that equal to 9 sulfurs to, I'll call it X, some unknown amount of oxygen. So here this is called a proportion. A proportion is two equivalent ratios set equal to one another. So 6 to 12 equal to 9 over X. So now this is one strategy we have not learned yet. This is new for chapter 7. This is cross multiplying and dividing. So if you cross multiply, you multiply the numerator on the first one and the denominator on the second ratio. So 6 times X. So I can represent that as 6 dot X. Okay, after you multiply the top on the first one to the bottom on the second one, then you do the bottom on the first one times the top on the second one. So 12 times 9. 12 times 9, okay? So I have 6 times X equals 12 times 9. Now I simplify. 6 times X, I can write as 6X equals 12 times 9, which is 108, okay? So if 6X equals 108, then if I want to get X by itself to figure out what X is equal to, I do the inverse operation of multiplication. Since right now I'm multiplying 6 times X to get X by itself, I do the inverse of multiplication, which is division. Now I divide both sides by the coefficient of X. The coefficient of X is the number in front of the variable X. In this case it's 6. Okay, so since this is an equation, whatever I do to one side of the equation, I must also do to the other side of the equation so that it stays balanced, so that it stays equal to one another. So if I divide by 6 on this side, I divide by 6 on this side. 6x divided by, or 6 times x divided by 6 simplifies to 1x, or just x, which is what I'm looking for. X equals 108 divided by 6, which is equal to 18. Okay, so what I have found is this x right here was the unknown value right here. Okay, so I can plug this 18 into the table. That's what I was looking for. So what this tells me is that 6 to 12 is equivalent to 9 to 18. Now, as you can already see, the oxygen atoms are 2 times the amount of the sulfur atoms. So if I have 6 sulfurs, I multiply by 2 to get the oxygens. If I have 9 sulfurs, I multiply by 2 to get the oxygens. Okay, and so as you can tell, these are going to be times 2 also. Now, let's say I didn't recognize that or didn't know that. What I could do is just continue to work off this equivalent ratio right here to figure out my next unknown value. Okay, so I would go through the same process. I would say the ratio 6 to 12 is equivalent to 21 over some unknown amount, which I'll call x. Cross multiply, 6 times x is 6x equal to 12 times 21. Okay, so 6x is equal to, I can use a calculator here, 12 times 21 is equal to 252. So I've cross multiplied, now I divide. I divide by the coefficient of x, which again is 6. So x is equal to 252 divided by 6, which gives me 42. Okay, so that is X. So when there's 21 sulfurs, there are 42 oxygens. And then finally, again, I use 6 to 12 as my ratio, and now I'm looking for the sulfur amount. So I put my unknown value up top since sulfurs are on top, and the bottom value would be the oxygens. So 6 to 12 is equal to some unknown amount to 54. Cross multiply, 6 times 54. 6 times 54, set that equal to 12 times x. 12 times x. 6 times 54, if I put that in the calculator, it gives me 324 equal to 12x. Divide both sides by the number, by the coefficient of x, which is 12. So x is equal to 324 divided by 12, which gives me 27. Okay, so I plug that in the table. If there are 27 sulfurs, there will be 54 oxygens. Okay, so now I have done task number 1. I have completed the equivalent ratio table by setting up proportions and cross multiplying and dividing. Now number 2, write these equivalent ratios as ordered pairs. On my coordinate plane, my x-axis right here is for sulfur atoms. So whenever I write my ordered pairs, my x values should be my sulfur atoms. These are my x's. The y-axis is oxygen atoms. The y-axis is oxygen, so whenever I write my ordered pairs, oxygens should be my y's. Okay, so my ordered pairs, I have 6, 12, 6, 12. That's one ordered pair. I have 9, 18, 9, 18, 21, 42, and 27, 54. Okay, those are ordered pairs. The first number in the ordered pair is the x value. The second number in the ordered pair is the y value. There's a comma between the x and y value, and it's put in parentheses. That's how you write the ordered pairs. So that's task 2. Task 3 is to graph these ordered pairs. Okay, so if this is my x value and this is my y value, since x is 6, I go to the right 6, and the second value y tells me to go up to 12. So right to 6, up to 12, and I put a dot. Okay, this would be 6, 12. 6, 12. Next I have 9, 18. Okay, so I go right to 9. As you can see, my x-axis is numbered by 6's. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. So halfway between 6 and 12 would be 9. Okay, so I could actually go in and fill in these other tick marks because it's really counting by 3's. 3, 6, 9, 12. This would be 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. All right, so if the numbers are not given to me like that, I can go in and fill them in. So I have 9, 18, so right to 9, up to 18. And as I can see, my y-axis is counting by 6's. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, and 54, and 60, up by 6's. So again, I can go in and fill the numbers in if they're not there already. So this is 9, 18. Okay, then I have 21, 42, so right to 21, up to 42, right there, it's 21, 42. And then finally I have 27, 54, so right to 27, up to 54, right there, 27, 54. Okay, so I have graphed my ordered pairs. The final step would be to draw a line. Draw a line through them. Should be a straight line. Okay, and then I put an arrow on the end of it since this is a line.